Is this the best electric hub drive kit you can buy on the market, straight off the shelf? No programming, no cherry picking components, no trying to figure out what works with what. This kit could potentially give you the best off-the-shelf e-bike performance and fitment that you can buy. Most 52 volt e-bike kits on the market are 1500 watts to 2000 watts, and they've always been my favourite bread and butter kit, but now decided to push more range out of this Kirbebike kit, more acceleration, more power, and just make it all round more awesome. And what makes this possible is the heart of this kit, this 52 volt 30 amp hour battery. That is a whopping 1500 watt hours or more, maybe 1520, 1560 if I'm doing my maths right. That is more than their 60 volt kit, which costs more money. It's way more than their 2000 watt kit, that's about 1040 watt hours. And this means we can push more amps and more acceleration out of the standard 2000 watt wheel and 52 volt battery. All thanks to this 50 amp sine wave controller. I think this might be the same controller they use in the 60 volt 3000 watt kit. And I'm hoping we can get pretty much similar performance, especially acceleration, as you'd get from a 60 volt 3000 watt kit, without any of the negative things that you'd normally get from a high power kit. Now this is the next step of genius of this kit that we've put together. This is a standard 2000 watt wheel, and just because it's a 2000 watt hub wheel doesn't mean we can't squeeze more power out of it reliably. The power comes from the battery and controller, not from the wheel. The wheel's just got to be able to handle the power. We've tried, tested and proved that this wheel can run the 3000 watt 60 volt kit. So coming up with a 50 amp controller, we're going to be able to reliably put 2600 watts through this 52 volt battery in this wheel. And the massive bonus is it's got standard mountain bike dropouts. The width of the axle on this will slide straight into most standard mountain bikes. Whereas if you had an actual 3000 watt rated hub, it's almost motorbike sized dropout width, and you have to bend the frame, fuck around with spacing, mess around with spacing. You have to kind of brake alignment starts going weird, and it becomes an absolute nightmare, and you end up with frayed motor cables where there's no room in the dropouts. By using this standard 2000 watt wheel, it's an absolute stroke of genius, and I generally think this is going to be like the best hub drive kit on the market. You can just buy off the shelf. So no programming, plug and play, no cherry picking parts, no waiting for bits and pieces to come from Handlebar, taking a gamble whether you're using a legit seller. This is a surefire way of fitting the best all-round performance and range from an off-the-shelf hub drive kit that you can get on the market. And we're going to be finding that out today. And this is the bike we're going to be using today, guys. It is a Lamborghini Blue Scott Aspect 930 in a size medium. So we're going to fit this massive battery within this frame triangle and the controller somewhere. We're going to figure it all out. I'm going to show you all the details. Let's go. Right, this is a 29 of this bike in size medium. The wheel we've been sent to test is a 27. So we're going to be running a mullet setup where you have a larger front wheel and a smaller back wheel, which is quite common in mountain biking. The issue is we need to find a 27-inch tyre, and I've found a bunch of tyres in the shed, and I'm not sure which ones to use yet. This has got Kenders on it. Yeah, so we've got a matching Kender, which we can go with, which is about 2.2. We've got a Schwalbe Smart Sand, which I think is about 2.5, 2.6 wide. We've got a Schwalbe Eddy Current, which is like 2.8, which is like, I'm kind of tempted to use that because I think it kind of gives that motocross vibe where you've got a slightly smaller, chunkier, wider back wheel. I don't know whether that's going to fit in the dropouts. That is an absolutely massively wide tyre. It might not fit. Which tyres do you think I should fit on this build? Shall we just try the 2.8, and if it works, we go ahead. If not, we have to rebuild the back wheel. What do you reckon? 2.8? Give the 2.8 a go. We've got the tyre on, decided against going with a 2.8. One, I can't be bothered to build the whole thing and realise it's too big. Two, I couldn't see a direction on it, I wasn't sure if it was directional. And three, it said front tyre as well. So the Smart Sams are still 2.6, they're still proper chunky, they're probably in better condition. And I think it looks a nuts. I think that tyre looks really good with the tyre lettering on it, so it's ready to drop in the bike. There we go, it's going in. Simple as that. Pull on the frame again. Not too much so it pops out. There we go. Right, and then my favourite tool of all at this point, plastic mallet. Give the axles a little tap. This is the most important part. You can't have a gap that big underneath. You can't do that, it ain't going to stay in. Yeah, look underneath now. My genius. That is flush to the top there, and there's no gap at the bottom there. Let's go for a ride. Oh, we need to put the battery, controller, display, throttle, and that kind of stuff on first, don't we? Right guys, the wheel bolts are fully done up with an 18mm spanner, the torque arm's done up. I've had to put a couple of cable ties here and here to pull the motor cable away from the brake disc. But then as I move along to here and further up, there's no cable ties at all going through there. I'm just going to come in, snip the ends off of these cable ties. I've run it all the way up to the bottom bracket and then snip them off, and then we're going to flip the bike over. What's going on guys, so now we are about to fit this 52 volt 30 amp hour beast of a battery into this medium size Scott Aspect mountain bike. Problem I've noticed on a lot of modern bikes recently, especially the ones from like 600, 700, 800 pound upwards, is they do a lot of cable routing coming high up on the frame. And with this project and the next one, it's even worse. The other bike I've got has got a seat dropper post cable coming out the frame there and going back in there, which really affects battery fitment. Hopefully I don't think on this particular battery it's going to pose too much of an issue. I think it's kind of curved, but we'll find out in a sec. So let's remove these and see what the fitment's like. Not only have I designed this as an awesome kit, this battery is available separately. So if you've got an existing 52 volt, 17.5 or 20 amp hour system, you can buy this battery on its own as a long range upgrade. Potentially you can get a bigger controller and probably, you know, run up to about 50, 60 amps on it pretty reliably. So great upgrade. You could even replace a 60 volt kit with this battery, most likely, depending on your controller, and just get longer range with slightly less top speed, maybe 5 miles an hour or so slower top end, but this is still going to push at least 45 miles an hour. Anyway, we're going to try and fit the battery now. I've removed the bottle cage mount bolts, so now we're just going to figure out where to put the adhesive rubber tape that I use. The reason I use this is these raised lips for the riv nuts or the bottle cage mounts make the battery only sit on those tiny two places. So I chop individual sections of adhesive tape so it sits flat across a bigger area, and it suppresses any vibration, and it just, you know, the cable ties squash it down onto rubber, which is much more grippy, vibration suppressing, and it's a flatter, bigger surface area. So what I'll normally do, I'll hold the battery in place and see where it starts and ends the contact. So it starts on like the S of the Scott, I'll run tape to there, and whether it ends on the O or the T. It's all really scientific, not really. This battery is gonna pretty much go something like that. Now, if you look under there, you might just see the two blue riv nuts. That's all it's gonna sit on if I don't use the tape. And it looks like I don't even need to put any tape before the first one. and the battery makes contact almost up to the end of the first letter T on Scott. So from here to here is where we're going to install the tape. The first bit we're going to do is going to be a rough estimate of this section. I'm just going to, this doesn't come with the kit. I don't know whether they'll start including it in the kit, but you can get adhesive tape on Amazon or wherever. But you can see that much and that much is going to be a lot more surface area than the lip of these two riv nuts that stick up. Just peel the backing off of this. Line it up centrally to the riv nut and the frame and just press it down. Snip that about there. So then we've got this piece to go there. It's going to give it extra grip, extra vibration suppression, stop things rattling about. And that's it. So now that battery can be pushed down and fitted. The kit comes with these Velcro straps, but you need to just throw them in the bin. And it does come now with some of these extra long, heavy duty, thick cable ties. I've got my own ones, again, just saying off Amazon. These are much better and stronger for fitting the battery. What I'm probably going to do is, probably just going to pop a few cable ties through. I'm going to go with 2 or 3. Probably best just putting one cable in each slot just to get it in place. I tend to fit the bottom ones first and really put it down onto that bottom bar where it's going to bear the weight. You want it sitting flat to this part of the frame. Right, moment of truth. Is the controller going to fit? Oh, look how close it is. That's annoying. That is so close, but not quite. We're literally millimetres out. I think the controller is going to have to go underneath. It's a shame that. It's really, really close. I could probably remove that rubber and it would probably fit, but I'd rather keep the rubber, to be honest. We are going to actually fit all the handlebar controls first before doing the controller. That'll be the last thing we do, is the controller, then all the wires go into it. We're going to do a big cable tidy at the end. So I think we're just going to run the throttle, display and loom from the handlebars down towards the controller area. So we've got the loom, which runs all the way down to here for the controller. We have got a pretty decent quality full twist throttle, which is always nice. Got the power button and the display in this box. So I think the first thing we're going to do, I don't know, depending on the length of this throttle, I might have to loosen all the gears and brake. I'm going to remove the lock-on grip and then see whether this will just slide on without adjusting anything else. Right, now depending on the length of the throttle, yeah, I think that might go on without adjusting anything. And you've got a little grub screw there, which, is that the wrong size? Why can't every manufacturer just agree to use the same size for everything? Right, probably going to go with something like that. Done. Simples. Right, we'll run some cable ties on that in a minute. So I'm imagining the display goes that way up with the powers at the cables at the bottom. So you've even got a little USB port there, should you want to charge your mobile phone or GoPro or whatever you take out riding with you. But yeah, it's got a little USB port. Pretty sure this is a full colour display. So it's got a recessed nut shape there. So you're going to drop the nuts in there. Obviously if I do it upside down it's just going to drop out. So I'll try and get this over the handlebars. like so. I'm just going to put it at an angle, figure out which other Allen key size this is, because there's always a million different types. Lock nut on the back. Just hold that in my finger. I'm hoping this is the right way up. Centre it up a little bit. How's that? Just going to squeeze these all together for make it nice and tidy. There we go, throttle and display done. The only thing left to do on the handlebars now is the power switch. Tiny little, dinky little Allen key. Right. Right, we've got the seat dropper post there, so maybe we'll just put it next to it there. I do like these designs much more. They just open up. It means I haven't got to take the whole of this off. It makes the installation a lot easier. So, nut in the back. Allen bolt in the front. Okay, at this point I could just plug all the cables into the controller and do a quick test run, but I don't know. I think maybe this time, I reckon we get a bit more done before doing that. We could do that, but let's wait. I've got confidence. Tidy up this power cable a little bit. Come on there. Sweet. So we have on button there, and mode and power level, display, a little bit of ASMR. We can hear is a fucking dog barking. 40th throttle. So now we need to do everything that's on them handlebars I just showed you is running down this cable, which I'm now gonna run down here, and all we need left to do now is connect everything to that controller, mount the controller underneath, and do a lot of cable tidying, and we are done. Yay. The end is in sight. Who's excited to see how fast a 2600 watt 52 volt is? I am. Right. Everything now is just these cables, this cable, these cables. So we've got motor cables, battery XT connector, I think that's an XT90, XT90? Yeah, XT90, and everything coming down from the display, power button and throttle. So all of that needs to go with that, and that's it. So the cool thing about the back wheel, we've been using this 2000 watt back wheel reliably on 2000 watt kits for probably almost a decade or so now, something ridiculous. Very reliable, nice strong MTX double wall rim, and now it's even better because it hasn't got the horrible yellow connector block anymore. You've got this triple XT, I think this is an MT60, I think it's called. You've got this, which is a lot more compact and neater, but it also handles amperage and heat and everything much better. So that's a bonus. The higher kits have got the XT90s instead of the XT60s. Waterproof connectors for the display, and then your standard hall sensor cables. And that is it. Unless you want to be a complete nerd and install the brake cutout levers, which I don't recommend. By all means fit them if you want to fit them, it's just one simple plug. Or the pedal assist, which I don't like either. I mean, I wouldn't want to be in a car having an on-off button for the throttle. I'd rather have a graduating throttle, which is exactly what an e-bike throttle does. It graduates the throttle with whatever amount of power you want to give the bike, which is a way better option, regardless of what the flipping law says. Slightly annoying that it's got these bullet adapters on the phase cables to this MT60. It's still way better than having the horrible yellow plastic connector box that you used to have on the kits. And these bullet connectors are normally good for a decent amount of power, so they're good. Yeah, let's figure out how we're going to install this. We have it about there, so we can tidy up all them cables below it. I would rather have run the cables from there to these, but that's going to be a bit low down. It could go high up like this, or there. Don't know whether to put any rubber on the underneath of this controller. I have to put a little bit of self-adhesive rubber on. To be honest, it might not need it. I mean, it's nowhere near as big and heavy as this battery is. We might need to join a couple of cable ties together to get the length we need. Maybe we should just try installing one cable tie on the top. Now I'm going to double this up. You can get longer cable ties, or you can just join a couple together like me. I'm just going to snip the excess off on that join. Okay. Right. Something like that. Right, now this one, I'm not sure whether to just go straight to here. Could do one of these each side. Something like that. Just put one on the other side and figure out whether that was a good idea. Right, ignoring the charging cable and everything else, it's not bad. It's not too bad. I do think it's a good idea to bunch these together a little bit, tidy them up. I'll just do the snips. Right. So now it's just a case of joining all this up. It's a bit confusing having the charging cable in the way. Maybe I'll unplug it for a minute. Right, that's what we're left with. The idea is that gets hidden up there. Or maybe cable tied to there. And everything just joins together under there. Pretty much done. So we get a kettle on or get another monster. What do you reckon? Sound good? It's a beautiful day. It's the nicest day of the year so far. Entering March, bit of sunshine. Right, maybe we'll connect all the cables and see how much excess we've got for everything. So battery we're going to leave off for a sec. We'll connect that last. So we have got, that's quite long, so that might have to double back on itself, but we've got hall sensor cable, phase cables, MT60, so that's the back motor wheel connected to the controller. Then we've got the display, which you've got two similar connectors. It's that one. Line up the arrows. I think that's pushed in. And I think that's it, just the battery. I think that is everything. So that should, I think at this point it'd be quite wise to try and fire this thing up, put the battery on, put a display on, and see whether this thing's working. And then I'll leave this battery charging whilst we do the final. Maybe I'll bring the charger over the top out of the way. That's probably a much better idea. I can do that now, actually. Let's fire the bike up first, because sometimes e-bikes don't work when the charger's plugged in. Should we do a test run? Right, battery on. Charger out of the way. Right, it's not gonna explode. You don't have to stand back that far, cameraman. Do you want to have a look, see if the display comes on? Moment of truth. Oh, it's upside down. Bollocks. Let's just see whether it actually does anything. I can't believe I've got the display on upside down. Oh well, it's no biggie. We can switch that up. All right. For all, 3, 2, 1. I can feel that tyre against my fingers. Sweet. Right, quickly flip this round and finish that and take this thing for a test ride. Sound good? Let's go. Final thing, if I want to, optional, these can come off. If this bike's going to be up for sale at the end of this video, so if anyone wants an absolutely amazing spec bike, jump on my Facebook page, which is in the video description, alongside the link to the Kirbebike website, and I'll put a direct link to this kit where you can buy it as a full package, any wheel size for a mountain bike, 52 volt, 30 amp hours, 50 amp hour controller, 2,600 watts or more peak power. Anyway, do we fit some Larry spoke covers? We have got bright pink, which I think would look pretty insane. These have already been cut and used before on a previous bike, so I'm hoping they'd fit a 27 and 29 inch wheel. And then we've got a brand new set of pure white ones. They look like an off-white. Is it my sunglasses? I think it's just my sunglasses. Blue and white, that looks a bit too Matt Armstrong McLaren. Don't know if that's yellow or like a New York taxi yellow. I am kind of swaying towards pink. It kind of reminds me, what was that mountain bike brand we had? Marin. We had a Marin that was like this colour blue with pink graphics on it, and it's kind of giving me that vibe. What do you reckon, Lou? Pink. Right, for anyone interested in buying this bike, you can see how it looks now. Obviously it's going to look completely different with the pink. If you don't like the pink, you can pull them off in 5-10 minutes max. No harm done. But yeah, maybe we'll go with pink. As long as these haven't been cut down too small for a 27. It's got to be able to fit the 29-inch front wheel. Right, should we try it first or fit the spoke covers first? If we fit the spoke covers, let's look at the positives. If we quickly fit the spoke covers, we can charge the bike a bit more before we ride it and go for a proper test ride. Or we can quickly test ride it now, out the front, then charge it whilst we're fitting the spoke covers.
After I spit them bars, see how the words hit hard. Follow my gut, I follow my heart, don't care for the guns.
What is going on, guys? The bike is absolutely finished and it looks sick. It looks absolutely awesome. I really like the pink spoke covers. I think it's going to be a little bit of a love or hate thing on those, but we are ready to take this thing for a test drive. We've only got 40% battery, but I'm too excited. I want to know, does this feel like a 2000 watt 52 volt or does it feel close to a 60 volt 3000 watt? Because fully charged, really, this is 58.8 volts. So at full charge, this would be more like 2,950 watts and slightly discharged about 2700 watts. So I would say I'd call this 2750 to be honest. But anyway, let's see if it feels like it. Yeah, that feels sick, even with a discharged battery. Come and have a look at that. It's actually showing 8% battery. I thought it was on about 40%. It's literally flat as a pancake. This is a brand new kit that I haven't even charged up yet. I charge it for like 10 minutes max. Right guys, a few little technical issues. The display was set up wrong. You thought we had a 72 volt battery instead of a 52. That's why it thought it was only an 8% battery. We've got about 70–80% battery now, so enough to get a good idea. It's got a wattage display. Straight up to 2,500, 2,600. Going uphill now. Yeah, this pulls much quicker than a 2000 watt, 30 miles an hour already. That's not taking into account any lag on the display. Whoa, 36 miles an hour. So I've had to adapt some of the settings on the display. It was set as a 72 volt battery, which gave me initial problems. I've changed that now to 52 volt, got the correct wheel size. This display, you have to double tap the M button on the handlebars to enter the display settings. And then to alter the battery voltage, you need to enter a password which as standard is set to 1801. That's how you get into the display on this kit. Very smooth. Pulling the throttle open now, this thing is quick. Wow. Absolutely flying. 35. Wow. 40. Whoa, slowing down. 42, back on the power. Yeah, this thing is much quicker than a 2000 watt. Wow. This thing's easily going to do 45 mile an hour and get there really quick. Yeah, back on the power. 30. Tucking in for aerodynamic efficiency. 36, 38. Yeah, this kit's the bollocks. I think we could have a new best kit off the shelf on the market This thing's insane. You're gonna get a tiny bit more power on the 60 volt mid and top end, but it's negligible. With the 60 volt kit, it's more money than this, a little bit more money, just a little bit. I think there's only about 50-100 quid in it at the most, but you're only getting a 20 amp hour battery that's about 1200 watt hours. With this kit, you're getting about 1500 watt hours or more. Slightly uphill now, and this thing just pulls hard. Guys, for anyone wanting to buy this kit that I fitted to this bike today, it's brand new on the Kirbebike site, link in the video description, and there is a discount code for Dude Stuff subscribers. Let us know whether you purchase this kit and what you think of it. Right, got a little uphill section now, guys. Let's go. Full power, 15 miles an hour, 20, 25, 30. Really uphill now. Yeah, I've had to come off the power because of the car in front, but man, this thing is insane. Cars everywhere. Let's see if we can get a little bit over 40. It's 30. There's a car in front, we're catching up already. 40. Yeah, about 42 there. This has got loads more to give. I think this is going to be up in the late 40 miles an hour, but we just can't get the power down on the street safely. I'm not going to take the piss. Yeah, this feels close to a 60 volt 3000 watt kit. Don't forget, this 52 volt battery fully charged is 58.8 volts, so technically speaking this thing's going to be peaking at about 2900 watts, 2950 watts fully charged. I've got the display settings to 65 amps max, but I think it's a 50 amp controller. We should be getting the full juice out of this. What a kit. Smooth, full power on, straight up to 2500 watts on the display. Smooth, fast. Wow. Yeah, I'm loving this. 35 mile an hour going uphill. Absolutely flies. This goes like the 60 volt kit, but it's cheaper, has got better range. And you don't need it to do 50 or more, trust me. Back up the massive hill. We've just been up here at 30. Or over 30, I think. Whoa. Yeah. Loving this. Absolutely loving this kit, guys. Check out the link in the video description for Kirbebike. Check out my Facebook page where I've got bike sales, ex-review bikes, custom e-bike builds. Hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy. Whoa.